Subaru's popular Crosstrek gets an all-new hybrid powertrain for 2026. Now, our editors are fans of the Crosstrek in general, but we wanted to see how much better it is or isn't with that hybrid powertrain, and if that powertrain is worth its extra cost. The Crosstrek Hybrid is EPA rated at 36 miles per gallon across the board. That's city, highway, and combined driving. That's a significant improvement over the non-hybrid Crosstrek, but it's not quite in the same league as the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. That SUV also comes standard with all-wheel drive, and it's rated at 42 miles per gallon combined. And along the same lines, the significantly larger Honda CR-V and Toyota RAV4 hybrids, those are also EPA rated better than the Crosstrek Hybrid. So part of the reason this Crosstrek Hybrid's efficiency isn't quite the same as other hybrid powertrains is the fact that Subaru elected to retain its traditional mechanical all-wheel drive system, complete with X-mode drive settings. This type of all-wheel drive system typically saps a little fuel efficiency, but it is also more robust and effective in those off-road driving situations, particularly in deep snow and mud. We didn't have the chance to measure our own fuel economy, but the dashboard display was typically showing in the low 30s in these relatively cold Chicagoland winter temperatures. And as is often the case these days with hybrid powertrains versus their non-hybrid counterparts, the Crosstrek Hybrid is actually the most powerful Crosstrek you can buy. It uses a 2.5-liter four-cylinder that makes 194 horsepower combined with the help of a couple electric motors, and that is a 14 horsepower improvement over the regular 180 horsepower gas engine 2.5-liter 4 in the non-hybrid Crosstrek. And in part because of the instant torque of the electric motors, the Crosstrek Hybrid does indeed feel a little bit zippier in everyday driving than the relatively lackluster non-hybrid Crosstrek. I would say that the hybrid powertrain elevates the Crosstrek's acceleration from meh to meh. And this is a pretty pleasant, refined hybrid system. The transitions between gas and electric power are smooth, and likewise the brake pedal feels very linear and it's easy to modulate to come to smooth stops. Crosstrek Hybrid comes in sport and limited trims, both of which are equipped essentially the same as their non-hybrid counterparts. So for a sport, which we have here, you'll pay $3,370 more for the hybrid version, and on the limited it's $2,000 extra. Now, that is not an insignificant amount of money, but it's totally on par with the typical premium for a hybrid powertrain versus a regular gasoline engine. So if we do some loose math using an average fuel cost of $3.50 per gallon and annual mileage of 13,500 miles, then choosing a Crosstrek Hybrid over a regular Crosstrek saves us about $320 a year in fuel costs. So that means it would take about 6 years to break even on a Crosstrek Hybrid Limited and about a decade on a Crosstrek Hybrid Sport. So the fuel savings themselves are not likely to be remarkable. But given the Crosstrek Hybrid's genuine improvements in acceleration and hence the driving experience as a whole, the fact that hybrids typically bring a little bit more at resale time, and the fact that the Crosstrek Hybrid fully retains its Subaru-ness, I think it is worth the extra money, especially if you're going to make use of those off-road capabilities. For more information on the 2026 Crosstrek Hybrid, be sure to check out Cars.com.